Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the seventh episode of the U.S. History GCast as presented by Gibsonian Institute. Today we're going to be looking at the state executive branch. We are done and dusted with the legislative branch. We're moving on to the next one, and that would be the executive branch. So we're going to get started with our objectives. Of course, if you don't want to follow along with me, these are available on Classroom, or of course, there are the textbook pages that I will post on Google Classroom as well. So multiple ways of getting this accomplished. Our objectives today: detail the role of the governor of Illinois, and then enumerate or number and explain the many special duties a governor is entrusted with. So let's keep moving right along here. The governor of Illinois is the leader of the executive branch. They are the highest ranking member of the executive branch, and they're kind of seen as the leader. All right. Their job is to enforce and administer the laws. They're not making the laws. That is the legislative branch. They make the laws. Governor is going to enforce them. They have a role to play in asking for your laws, but they don't have the ability to outright pass a law. There is a lieutenant governor who is the second in command. Our current lieutenant governor is Juliana Stratton. Of course, our governor currently, J.B. Pritzker. We'll get a lovely picture of him in a little bit. So lieutenant governor is elected at the same time as the governor. So Juliana Stratton, once again, is our lieutenant governor. So she came into office at the same time as J.B. Pritzker. The requirements to become the governor. First of all, got to be at least 25 years old. All of these requirements will also be expected of lieutenant governor, because the lieutenant governor, as second in command, quote unquote, if the governor is incapacitated, meaning they are ill, they are impeached, they die, whatever happens, that they can no longer lead the executive branch for some period of time, then the lieutenant governor is in charge. So it's kind of like the vice president to the president, if you're looking for a comparison. So they need to fulfill these requirements. So besides the minimum age of 25 years old, they also need to have lived in the state for 3 consecutive years prior to running. You can't bank the years when you were younger and then come back and automatically run for office. You need to have been living here. And then lastly, you need to be a U.S. citizen. Now, you do not need to be born in the United States. Another example that you might know this that's outside of Illinois, from California, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I believe he's Austrian-born actor, was elected governor of California, and of course he was not born in the United States. So because he was a U.S. citizen, he was allowed to be elected governor of California. Similarly, thing could happen in Illinois, provided they fill out the other requirements above. Salary. Governor makes $177,412. Lieutenant governor makes $135,669. So not a bad payday for either one of them. And they both serve 4-year terms. So here is a lovely picture of J.B. Pritzker here. Moving on to their abilities, governor abilities. The governor has several administrative duties. First, they appoint many members of the state government. One thing that is worth noting, however, as we should remember with the legislative studies that we've done, is that the appointments of the governor are subject to approval by the Senate. So anyone that's appointed to a cabinet position, so to speak, or a position that the governor has the ability to assign them to, they need to get approved almost always by the Senate. There's a couple of positions that are exclusive to that. But also on the flip side of this, they can remove those appointments at any time if they think that they're incapable of fulfilling the duty. Second duty, they may reorganize executive agencies as they see fit. Maybe something happens, or maybe there's an emergency that's happening. There's very good example currently happening with COVID-19. Governor Pritzker has special steps on his own to kind of reorganize some of the key agencies under his jurisdiction to kind of help with aid and helping with the response to COVID-19. So that's something that you may be seeing in the news each day. Another ability of the governor is to grant pardons, commutations, and reprieves if they see fit within the state of Illinois. So pardons, commutations, reprieves are all going to pertain to any sort of penalty or jury sentencing or jail sentence. So pardons, commutations, reprieves. There's different levels to that. One thing that I'll post the differences in Classroom just in case some of us aren't watching this video. I want to make sure everyone has the ability to see that one. So make sure you check out Classroom for those differences. Number 4, reports the condition of the state to the General Assembly at the beginning and close of each session. It's similar to the State of the Union that we hear each January from the president. So this is just going to be the Illinois version on a smaller scale, but also more often because we're getting it at the beginning and the close. So what are we looking to do and what do we get accomplished essentially? Number 5, the governor is the commander-in-chief of the state militia unless called into federal service. So if the militia is needed by the federal government or the president, then that gets priority. Other than that, the commander-in-chief would be the governor. 6th, may call special sessions of the General Assembly, providing, let's say it's the end of the year, maybe the General Assembly got all their work done by November. If something happens, the governor can call a special session saying, hey, there's something that's come up, we need to figure out how to handle the situation, and then they would come back. And lastly, every year there must be an annual state budget sent to the General Assembly for consideration. They don't have to follow it completely, but they need to, they'll work together to pass this, but it's on the governor to pass this along. So that's going to be an annual thing. One of these days I'll have to, I think maybe tomorrow I'll post a article about our most recent governor before J.B. Pritzker. There was a lot of news you may have seen with the state budget, with the Governor Bruce Rauner and the General Assembly not being able to pass a budget for so long. It's an historic day. So I'll look for a nice article to post for that. So keep a lookout for that. And moving on to our last slide here, the governor veto. There's 3 types of vetoes. One is the regular veto, which is just the bill is rejected outright. So if and or buts, it's rejected. Second one is an item or reduction veto. The House can pass this bill still just by accepting the changes that the governor suggests, but this is only for appropriation bills, so that'll only apply to certain things. And then there's the amendatory veto, and the governor is going to note specific recommendations on the bill and say maybe we should change this, this, and this. And the General Assembly can pass it without it coming back to them if they just accept those recommendations. So it'll stamp, it's good to go as long as they follow through with those recommendations and everyone's happy. So that's just at least the start of what we're looking at with the governor. We're going to come back tomorrow looking at the executive branch in a little bit more detail. There's more positions than just the governor, of course, the lieutenant governor as well. So stay tuned. We'll go into deeper detail about the executive branch tomorrow. If you have questions regarding any of these things, you can always find me on Google Classroom or Google Meet. We have our office hours from 12:30 to 1 tomorrow and today. But also you can comment on the video below, comment on the Google Classroom, or send me an email. Make sure you're using this sjfschool.us email for mine, but also sending it from your school account as well. That way everything, we can guarantee that everything's going to be received and delivered. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you again soon.